Right now on Up with KREM, Spokane County faces a risk of moving back into phase 2 as the governor's office conducts its county evaluations today.
A boat trip turns deadly in California.
Everyone was panicking, everyone was yelling.
This morning, why officials believe this was a result of a human smuggling operation.
Looking to get outside and complete your virtual Bloomsday this week? Well, I've got the forecast that tells you the best day to do so.
One of Bloomsday's greatest kept secrets is finally out.
The shirt it ties the race together. I mean, everybody gets a shirt at the end.
This morning, we talk with the designer behind this year's finisher shirt.
Up with KREM starts right now.
Taking a live look at beautiful downtown Spokane on just a gorgeous Monday morning. Meteorologist Jeremy Legou will join us with what to expect this week in just a few minutes.
But first, we're going to get straight to our top story of the day. Today, counties across the state are facing evaluations. Either they can remain in phase 3 of reopening or be forced to go back to phase 2. Right now, local leaders are urging Governor Inslee to stay in phase 3. So this morning, we're asking you, do you agree with local leaders that we should stay in that phase? Vote in our live Twitter poll this morning. Get over to social media and have your voice heard. Numbers are shifting. 41% are saying yes, 58% saying no. For the first time this morning, the no category is in the lead. Text us your responses, 509-448-2000, and we'll show them right here on Up with KREM. Well, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
It's good to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham. Thanks so much for starting your morning with us. Currently, Spokane County is in danger of moving back a phase in the state's reopening plan. Currently, Spokane is in danger of moving back a phase in the state's reopening plan. Right now, the Spokane Regional Health District reported 299 COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people from April 11th to the 24th. Larger counties, including Spokane County, must have fewer than 200 new COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people.
Well, Spokane County also reported 8.6 hospitalizations per 100,000 people. To stay in phase 3, the county must have fewer than 5 new COVID-19 hospitalizations per 10,000 people. Now, tomorrow, Washington Governor Jay Inslee will make an announcement on which counties will be rolling back a phase. Right
now, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward and other local leaders are urging Inslee to keep the county in phase 3. Nicole Hernandez joins us live from downtown Spokane to tell us about their response. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Tim, Dana Marie. So right now I'm in Kendall Yards, where obviously there is a bunch of restaurants that would be affected by this potential change here. But leaders from the downtown Spokane partnership specifically sent this statement to the governor's office talking about that potential change before the evaluations are made. So I want to give you a closer look at what this statement says here. It says in part, quote, "The stance of the mayor and regional health directors to delay reverting to phase 2 is both reasonable and safe, while also recognizing the absolute need for our employees to care for their families by returning to gainful employment." A spokesperson from Inslee said Woodward made the request during a phone call with staff at the governor's office. The spokesperson responded to her request by saying, quote, "We appreciate her," meaning Woodward's position, "and the tremendous work happening in Spokane to vaccinate individuals." Now, again, those county evaluations are happening today, and we'll end up actually finding out tomorrow whether or not Spokane County has to move from that phase 3 back to phase 2. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
And it brings us to our question of the morning, where we want to join the conversation. Do you agree with local leaders who say they should stay and we should stay in phase 3? You can vote right now in our Twitter poll. Head over to social media, get your voice heard. 58% of you are saying no this morning. Also, let us know why. 509-448-2000, and we can read it here on Up with KREM. Well, this morning we also want to look at other counties facing that step backwards.
Yeah, so here's a breakdown of the Washington counties that are at risk of falling back into phase 2. If your county is colored in dark blue, now that means you're at risk of facing more restrictions soon. The darker regions are not meeting phase 3 guidelines, and they could go back to phase 2 next week.
On Friday, the Northeast Tri-County Health District announced Ferry County will go back to phase 2. This comes after a super spreader event caused nearly 100 hospitalizations. You could read more about this and take a closer look at the map on KREM.com.
6:03 now on a Monday morning. Not a bad way to start off a Monday. Let's get outside to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo.
The sun has now been up for more than a half an hour. It's in the sky and it's shining. It's beautiful. It is pretty far off to the north as it comes up now, and it sets pretty far off to the north. We're starting to get into those long summer days. We have more than 14 and a half hours of daylight, in case you're keeping track. Sunrise around 5:30 right now. Sunset after 8 p.m. That's pretty neat. 41 degrees here in Spokane early on this morning, and temperatures are a little bit cooler across much of the inland northwest. We stayed pretty much where we were in the 5 o'clock hour. Can you hear that bird? It is just having a grand old morning. Thank you for waking us up early this morning, bird. Well, it's clear skies overhead. Maybe that's why the bird is so excited. It's clear skies taking us into the morning. You are going to see plenty of sunshine. Grab those sunglasses as you head out the door. Later on today, might not need them. We are going to see clouds start building through the middle part of the day, and mostly cloudy skies take us into the evening. A few scattered showers up in higher elevations. That's really going to be about it for today and Tuesday for us here in Spokane. It's clouds. We start out with temperatures near 40. By about 9 a.m. we're up near 50. By noon we're up near 60 and staying in the mid 60s as we head into the afternoon under mostly cloudy skies.
Jeremy, thanks so much. Time for your morning rush now. More news in less time.
A man accused of brutally murdering his ex-girlfriend accepted a plea deal on Friday in Spokane County Court. Anthony
Count
Fuerte
one, murder in the first degree. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Anthony Fuerte will face 32 years for the murder of 24-year-old Michaela Young. Final sentencing will take place later this month. Court recordings say Young and Fuerte were in a romantic relationship before her death. She was found in a North Spokane motel with multiple stab wounds in February of 2020. According to court documents, Michaela said she was afraid Fuerte was going to kill her because he believed she had set him up to be arrested.
But this is a case that calls out for the high end. So I am going to impose 136 months in prison. I didn't hear you say you were sorry. I didn't hear you say anything. I didn't hear your family say they were sorry or they had any sympathy for this family.
Another man accused of killing his girlfriend was sentenced to just over 11 years on Friday. Darrell Cloud entered an Alford plea for the death of Candy Feely. Now, the Alford plea is a modified guilty plea in which a defendant doesn't admit guilt but acknowledges he likely would be convicted if the case went to trial. Now, according to court documents, Cloud dropped Feely off at the hospital unconscious with injuries to her face and bruises all over her body and then ran. Cloud had been arrested for domestic violence against her prior to the deadly attack. Cloud had also previously served time for his killing of his former middle school teacher in January of 1994.
Well, this morning, family and friends are mourning the loss of Dale Ringquist. Dale was a bartender at Elk Public House for almost 20 years. The public and business posted on their Facebook page yesterday that Ringquist passed away in his sleep Saturday night. They also said more information will be announced about this from his family at a later date.
Voting has ended for Spokane's new flag. The Spokane Library stopped accepting votes last night. The process began with more than 400 designs, and the flags were narrowed down to 12 finalists. Voting was open from April 5th to May 2nd, and now we wait for the reveal. The current flag was designed back in the 1970s, and it came under fire after a TikTok making fun of the flag went viral. That's when the search for a new design began.
And Southwest Airlines has announced new nonstop flights out of Spokane. Flights to Orange County and Chicago will be available starting June 6th. The airline will also resume daily year-round flights to San Jose International Airport. That also begins on June 6th. Southwest now has 8 destinations out of Spokane, including Denver, Phoenix, and Sacramento. Well, that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media.
The 2021 Bloomsday t-shirt is out. This year's designer says he still can't believe his design was chosen.
It's pretty surreal, man. I mean, I don't think I've still fully processed that part yet.
Hard to process, I'm sure. And I got the chance to speak with this year's designer right after the announcement was made. Hear what inspired his design coming up after the break.
And of course, we're going to take you outside, talk your weather today and in the days to come. I'll let you know the perfect time to get outside and maybe get some of those Bloomsday miles on your feet.